of like a call kind of guy. Oh, true. A quiz bot would be sweet. Okay, yeah, we'll look into that. You're just not good at it. Hey man, practice makes perfect, and I mean everyone's here and they'll teach you. Everyone's nice in this community, you know. No one's gonna hate on you for being bad. Ooh, everyday rumble. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we can get that in for sure. That's not too hard at all. Okay, Dev, are we good to go? Good to go with the recording? Yeah, Smash Cards is low key hard. We'll do a bunch of other games. Um, yeah, if you guys want to drop any sort of games that you want to see, if you give me like a list, I'll we can put them in a poll and then we can have people vote on it. Yeah, so feel free to just drop any games. Scribble is one that I really want to do, actually. I think that'd be fun. It's kind of hard as well, like drawing with a mouse, but you know. All right, we're good to go. All right, sweet. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to build a portfolio on Glider. So if you guys all have beta access, I'm sure you've messed around with it, and I'm sure you've kind of tried to build a strategy here and there. And as you know, it can be a little difficult. It's a little bit overwhelming. There's quite a few blocks. Um, and it can be a little challenging to actually put it together. David, we'll get you a code. Just open a ticket and we'll send you a code. But just watch for now, and then we'll get it to you after. So basically, I'm going to be showing you how I like to build strategies or my portfolios, and how you can kind of use the blocks to manipulate them into doing certain sort of like trading strategies, like take profit or that sort of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share, and I will show you everything that you need to know. All right. So can you guys see my glider screen here? Just drop like a thumbs up in the chat or anything just to confirm. Loading case, sweet. All right. So, as you guys may know, you can use a pre-built strategy, right? There's a ton of already pre-built ones. You don't have to do anything. You can just, pick someone else a little bit or just use it exactly how it is, right? So if I want to go with some base memes in a dream, I can just click select portfolio, and it'll show me, how it's been doing over the last little while. You can see it did really well for a while and came back down. Really interesting. And it's just holding a couple memes. So let's see how it actually works. So I'm going to click use portfolio. I'm going to sign and create this strategy. So this way I can actually use it. And all it's doing here is weighting them by market cap, right? They picked 4 tokens, and whichever one has the highest market cap, they're putting more money into that, which is an interesting strategy, but we're going to get a little deeper than that. I think we can do a little bit more cool stuff. So I'm going to go and I'm going to create my own strategy. Let me get out of here. So if I hit create, I'm opened with this this screen. Yeah, David, we will record it, so we're going to repost it so you can watch it after if you want to look through it. But I'm going to make 2 strategies today. I'm going to make a more of like a safe, legit one, and then I'm going to do more of like a degen meme coin strategy, because I know that's what you guys want to see. That's what everyone wants to see. So first, what we're going to start with is we're going to start with an if-else condition. This is probably the hardest one to kind of understand, but I'll see if I can break it down in a way that makes sense. Also, feel free to follow along on your own computer if you have access. It might make it a little bit easier. But if any of you guys are coders or you kind of work with if-else conditions, essentially the way it works is you're creating a sentence, right? So if blank blank is greater than blank blank, then do one thing. If it's not greater than it, then do another thing. So basically you're using market data to put your money into one basket or put your money into another basket. So let me show you an example. So let's say if the volume of Aerodrome is greater than the volume of, what's another close coin? Let's do Virtuals. Okay, so now we're saying if the volume of Aerodrome is greater than the volume of Virtuals, then whatever we put in this block is going to happen. So let's say, let's just, for example, let's put Aerodrome in here. Let's put Virtuals in here. So as you can see, because our portfolio is fully in Virtuals, it means that the volume of Virtuals is higher than the volume of Aerodrome, right? If the volume of Aerodrome is higher, we would actually be holding Aerodrome. One thing that I like doing is setting limit orders with this. So let's click current price and let's do Bitcoin, right? So in our portfolio, we want to be holding Bitcoin, but we want to sell it at a certain price. So we're going to say if the current price of Bitcoin is greater than a fixed value of 120,000, then we're going to sell our Bitcoin. So if we want to hold Bitcoin under 120,000, we need to put it here or in the else condition where this isn't true, right? So if Bitcoin's at 100K, then it's not greater than 120K, which means it's like false. The condition is false. So we're going to put CB Bitcoin down here, and we're going to put cash up here. So that's one way. So now, if Bitcoin ever goes above 120K, we're going to be selling our Bitcoin into USDC, which is super interesting. But we can even go deeper with that. So let's say when Bitcoin's over 120K, we want to have half of it in cash and we want to have half of it in something else. So we can do specified percentage. We can put 50% into cash, and we can put 50% into, what's a token that we should hold with cash when Bitcoin's over 120K? You guys still not hearing anything? Can anyone hear me? Like, are some people able to hear? It's working. Okay, sweet. Moon, maybe just check your audio input output strategy. I mean, not strategy, settings in Discord. Sometimes it gets a little bit weird. Okay, sweet. All right, so let's say we want to hold 50% USDC and 50% Ethereum, because my trading thesis is that, you know, Bitcoin is going to run, it's going to go up a ton, it's going to go to 120K, and then altcoins and Ethereum are going to come catch up. But at 120K, I still want to take some profits, so I'm going to be in cash, right? So this is what it's saying. When we're over 120K, we're going to have 50% in USDC, we're going to have 50% in ETH. But this is assuming that our whole position is in Bitcoin right now, which is not what we want. We don't want our whole position in Bitcoin. So I'm going to change this block up here, which will change the weight for this entire strategy over here. So if I put this to 50%, then we still have 50% for whatever then the recording will get it, which will be fine. Okay, I'm gonna continue on here. Hopefully the sound comes back for some of you guys. Okay, sweet, sweet. All right, so I'm gonna keep on picking my coins that I want to be sorted by this filter block. So, let's do Brett. Let's do virtuals, and let's do one more. Let's say Clanker. So now 50% of my portfolio is in Bitcoin with a take profit of 120K into USDC and Ethereum. And the other 50% of my portfolio is being sorted into the top 3 of all of these tokens based on volume, which you can see right now is Aerodrome, Brett, and Virtuals, right? So pretty good strategy. Right now we're holding 50% Bitcoin, a couple altcoins, and then once Bitcoin breaks 120K, the strategy is going to change. We're going to have a bunch of cash and we're going to be holding Ethereum, right? So not too bad. This is a definitely a more stable and secure strategy, right? We're not going to have too much volatility because we have a bunch of Bitcoin, and when we don't have Bitcoin, we're going to have cash. But we still have some upside exposure with these tokens here. This is still, decently. Still we could break this down like a bunch more and add a lot more percentages, but personally, I like having like larger allocations. Like a nice 50% chunk in Bitcoin really stabilizes everything, and that sort of thing. So we're going to save this, right? If we want to actually save this strategy and create it, we're going to hit create portfolio here. I don't really want to name it, so I'm going to hit generate details here. Let the AI do the work, see what it comes up with. Dynamic asset selection strategy, switch between Bitcoin, ETH based on price, filtering top tokens by volume for diversification. Perfect. That's exactly right. We're going to hit sign and create strategy. It's going to prompt me my wallet. I'm not sure if you can see that. And I'm going to add, just a tiny bit of funds just to have like nothing in this wallet right now. And as it's loading, we'll just wait. And then we'll get into the next strategy, which is going to be a little bit more of like a degen strategy. That'll be interesting. Oh, it's depositing from mainnet. Okay, I'm actually just not going to deposit right now because I don't have any base ETH. But that's how you do it, and then your strategy would be created. I'll move some money around at the end so we can actually deploy these strategies. But what I'll do right now is I'll just save the portfolio and I'll fund it later. Right, so this is saved now. I can come back and just add money whenever I want. All right, so here's the strategy here. Oh, okay, I guess I did put money in. I put $1 in. Once I hit rebalance and start portfolio, it's going to move my money out of ETH and into these other tokens that I selected here. So if I hit rebalance, the money, the $1.37, should move based on the percentages that we put in earlier. We'll let that rebalance for a sec. It takes a second. Okay, there we go. So we put 68 cents into here, and then these are really small allocations, so it's not going to show it right now. Sweet, that's gonna. Oh, it's cool, Turk. Don't worry. I appreciate it, but it's fine for now. Okay, now let's go into the second strategy. So that one's a little bit complex, uses market data. It's interesting, but it's not that exciting. It's not meme coins, right? So the way that we trade meme coins on Base is either you can get the contract address and you can put it in here and you can select that token. But if you want to manually or if you want to automatically trade these meme tokens, what you can do is you can use this dynamic block, right? So with this, you can go in, you can set a bunch of filters. This essentially scrapes Dex Screener, and it pulls data from Dex Screener and chooses tokens based on the parameters you set. So first thing to look at is how many tokens we want, right? We don't want just one token. We want to get 3 based on our um, based on our. Okay, let's just do one for now. We'll do three. So we have some filters here that are going to help us, avoid some of the rugs, and we're not gonna, buy every single rug. But these filters are not perfect, right? It doesn't mean we're not going to ever buy a rug. There's still a ton of risk while using this dynamic filter, because if someone were to make a coin that they're going to rug and it somehow slips into your strategy, your portfolio is going to automatically rebalance into that token, and then if they rug, you're going to lose all your money, and then your portfolio is going to look really down. But it's just because one token messed it up. So you have to be extremely careful with this, and really know what you're doing if you're going to use this. I would recommend not using it at all. But if you want to trade some memes, this is how you do it. I like to ask with the meme token, what should I do if the token ends up being a rug pull? There's nothing you can do there, unfortunately. Like, that's just unlucky. And there's nothing like Glider can do. Like, we can't refund you. Your money was in that token. The dev kind of stole your money. And that's just like an unfortunate L, which is a big risk of this filter, right? You really got to know what you're doing to try to avoid these rugs. So what I'm going to do to try to do that is I'm going to set this minimum market cap filter to 10 million, right? So I'm not going to have any tokens that's under $10 million, which should exclude a lot of the rugs, right? Right now, we're limited to $50,000 in liquidity. I want that to be at least 100,000, right? Because only legit tokens are going to have that much liquidity. It should be better like that. Fully diluted valuation, that's not too important, to be honest. Since we already have market cap set, we don't really need to worry about that. Age, this is a pretty good one. If you don't want to, buy tokens that people are just launching because they're going to rug them, you can send a minimum age, right? I'm just going to leave it for now, but this is kind of a good way to make sure you're not buying very new tokens you're going to get rugged on. 24-hour transactions, I think a good rule of thumb is 1,000, right? As long as there's some transactions going through, like 1,000 isn't too crazy for 24 hours. If you want to break it down based on buys and sells, you can do that here, but transactions is buys and sells both included. Unique transactions, buy count, same sort of thing. 24-hour volume. This is also a really good one. You don't want to buy any of these low volume tokens that are obviously rugs. So this is another filter you can use. I'm going to set the 24-hour volume to, let's say, 200K. This should cut out a lot of the lower coins, while still keeping some of the top best ones. And 24-hour low. These are fine, right? Actually, what we're going to do is we don't want any tokens that have gone down 90% in the last 24 hours, right? Those are tokens that are probably going to keep going down. We just don't want to touch those. We never want to be involved with those. So I'm going to set a limit of negative 90% down. So anything that goes down more than 90% 24 hours is not going to be included in my strategy. All right, and now we're going to choose how to. So now we've filtered out a ton of tokens, right? We only have some of the best tokens, some of the most reliable, biggest tokens on base. Now we need to choose how we want to rank them and how we actually want to, put them into our strategy. So what do we value most in tokens? Trending score is a really good one. These are tokens that are doing well on Dex Screener. People are buying them. They have good social activation, and Dex Screener is recommending them. So I'm going to do a 24-hour trending score. These lower ones are easier for smaller coins to get into. But the 24 hours, like, the coins have to stick around for a little bit, right? They actually have to be a solid coin. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to choose descending order, right? Which means it's going to be first, then second, then third, then fourth, and fifth, right? So it's kind of the way we want it. We want to grab the top of the top. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to do volume, right? Volume is a really good one. If there's a lot of people buying this token in the last 24 hours, we're going to put that down, and it's going to buy those tokens for us. So you can see we have ranking 1 and we have ranking 2. it's gonna weight ranking 1 more. So if 2 tokens have the same amount of volume, but one of them has a better trending score, it's gonna go with that one. Or if they have the same trending score, it's gonna go the one that with the more vol. Meme tokens that I know are scams, so I'm just gonna leave it. Right now, if I hit apply filters, we can see. Oh wait, is it set to 2? Okay, so right now, there's only 2 tokens that fit in my parameters, right? This 6 token and Pepe, right? But that's not enough. I want 3 tokens, so I'm gonna change a couple of these. I'm gonna change, the unique transactions to 1,000. And let's see if that changes anything. Okay, no. So there's something else that's kind of holding us back here. Maybe if I change the minimum market cap back down, it'll open up a couple other tokens. Let's see. Okay, there we go. We got some other ones. So these are some of the top tokens on Dex Screener. This one looks a little bit sus with no name and no icon. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm not too happy with this. I think we're not really going to get the best results. So I'm just going to reset it. I'm going to go dynamic again. I think I messed up one of the things in there at some point, but I'm just going to keep all the defaults because I want these tokens here, right? So now these tokens aren't going to stay here forever. What's going to happen is as the market moves, as the trending scores change, these tokens are going to be, filtered in and out and rotated in and out. They're not going to stay here forever. And as they're rotated in and out, the money that's in them are going to move to the new tokens that are coming in to replace them, right? So you're always going to be moving around to new meme, kind of trying to get the best of the best. If you make your filters really good, you can you can make it so you're always holding the top tokens that are running, but that's really difficult and takes a lot of fine tuning. By the way, any suggestion on how on max drawdown is okay for a portfolio? I mean, it's really just up to your risk, right? That first portfolio we made is not going to have too much risk, so it's not going to go down too much. Whereas this one could drop to 0 in a day because we're using this dynamic filter and we're picking up meme coins, right? So having a good balance is really important. So let's say you want to trade some meme coins, but you don't want it all in meme coins, right? You want a little bit less risk. What you can do is you can change this weighting to, let's say, 30%, right? So you're only going to be putting 10% into each of the tokens that it picks. And then you can add some other assets. Let's do 30% into cash, for some stability. We're going to do another 30% into, let's do Bitcoin. And then we'll do another 10% into Aerodrome. And we'll put that to 10. So now, as you can see, we have 30% in Bitcoin. We have 10% in Kita, which is in our dynamic block, 10% in Virtuals from our dynamic block, but 20% in Aerodrome, because we also have a 10% allocation down here being added to this one. Right. So I know that I'm always going to want to have some Aerodrome in my strategy. So I'm going to have it here and here. So there we go. Now we have another portfolio. I'm going to let it generate the details. This one is going to be much higher risk. So, there's going to be bigger drawdowns. We're taking on more risk, and the portfolio is going to look a lot more volatile. So, as you can see, dynamic trading and blue chip mix. That's right. We have a dynamic here and our blue chips down here. Sweet. We're going to sign and create. Yeah, ETH is a stable coin. Sweet. And I'm not going to deposit right now because I don't have any money in my account. But I'll click Save Portfolio. That's sweet. So now we have 2 portfolios ready to go. So we have this one that we just made in our drafts because we haven't deposited into it yet. Then we have this one that we did make in So we're going to be holding it on Joker.race. Essentially, you build a portfolio from scratch, take a screenshot, and then upload it to this competition. There's going to be a 2-day period to upload your strategy, and then a 1-day voting period. So everyone goes, they upload strategies. It's 3 entries per person, so you can make 3 different strategies, upload them as submissions, and then there's 1 day where everyone can vote on everyone else's strategies. They can pick the coolest ones, the most interesting ones, the most funny ones, whatever you want to vote for. And we have an $100 prize pool. 50% is going to first place, 30% for second, 20% for third. So the way it works is there's an entry fee and there's a voting fee, right? So the entry fee is 50 cents. So for every submission you want to put in, you have to pay 50 cents. It's small, but it's just something to keep, keep the bots out and just have a little something. And then it's also 50% to vote. Sorry, not 50%, 50 cents to vote. So if you want to go and you want to vote for your strategy 10 times, it's going to cost you $5. And all of that, or 70% of that money, is being rotated back into the prize pool, right? So the more people that join, the more people that vote, the more cash that's going to be in the prize pool for you guys to win. So building your best strategies and uploading as many as you can is only going to help you. Let's say there's 100 entries and 100 votes. That's an extra $100 into the prize pool for you guys to win, which is going to be super huge, right? And if we can get it to kind of blow up on Twitter a little bit, we can get people entering from outside Glider and voting from outside Glider. That prize pool is just going to keep on growing for you guys. Any questions with any of that stuff? We'll be posting a link with more of the details later today. It'll be starting in about 3 hours or so you have some time to prepare strategies. And then, like I said, you have 2 days to submit. Yeah, we'll drop the link in the main announcements channel. No need to worry about that. We'll get that sorted. I need to make some last minute edits to the competition, so I'll drop the link as soon as I'm done with that. If you guys have any questions about how to enter and how to vote, you can just drop those in general. We'll try to help you, sort of figure those out when it's time to do it. Turk's off a bean right now. Can I copy the portfolio? I'm gonna keep mine off limits because I really want you guys to go in and try your own. You can copy it, but just make sure you add your own little spin on it. You know what I mean? Something to make it unique and to make it yours. Because if everyone just uploads mine, it's not really gonna be that much of a competition. All the details from just need access to Glider. Yeah. So if any of you are here that want to, have access to the competition in Glider, feel free to just open a ticket, take a screenshot that you were in the space, drop it in the ticket, and then our devs will, our mods will give you an access code, and then you'll be able to build the strategy and upload it as well. Deadline is in 2 days after it starts, so I believe it's the 12th. But that'll all be on the link. You'll be able to see all the times and dates and everything. So yeah. Sweet. Any questions sort of just relating to Glider? For me, not competition related. Anything? Thanks, David. Appreciate you popping in and asking questions. Still waiting for a regional channel. Okay, yeah, we can chat about that. Sogol, no worries. My pleasure. I'm always happy to answer questions, help you guys with strategies. And yeah, if you're ever building a strategy and you want to do something and you don't know how to do it, feel free to ping me and I can give you a little lesson or I can, kind of help you get through your little issues. No worries there. Feel free to ping me. And I think we'll open a okay, yeah. So there's a trading strategies channel already. I think we'll rebrand it to like portfolio building or something like that. But we'll be able to drop questions, sort of information for each other in there. Thanks, Turk. Here we go. All right, sweet. Well, if there's no particular questions for me, I guess we'll wrap this up. The recording will be available after if you want to kind of look through and see what I did to build your own strategy. And then yeah, keep an eye out for that link. Share it around as much as you can. It's only beneficial to you guys if you get more people in because it means a bigger prize pool for you. And yeah, feel free for questions for the mods or me. Just ping us. Yeah, and I'll see you guys soon. Stuff for later this week. We're also going to drop a poll for what games to play. We're going to do more quizzes. And then we have something special coming up at the end of the week, which is going to be really fun. So yeah, keep your eyes out for that. And yeah, no worries, brother. Thanks for attending. Sweet. Well, I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll be in the chat. Bye, guys.